Bem-vindos ao Abaixo de Zero, um podcast da Federação de Desportos de Inverno de Portugal. O meu nome é João Cardoso e venham comigo descobrir um pouco mais sobre as modalidades de inverno. E no episódio de hoje voltamos ao curling e para isso tenho comigo a equipa nacional masculina que disputou entre os dias 5 e 11 de maio a pré-qualificação para o Campeonato do Mundo de Curling em Ljubljana, na Eslovénia. Já iremos às introduções, mas antes dizer que se trata de uma equipa com origem no Oriental Sport Club, com sede em Cambridge, no Canadá, e como tal, este é um daqueles episódios em que o inglês será a língua franca, pelo que vou passar agora para o inglês. E, guys, I was just introducing you and saying that this episode will be in English. So I think before we even go into the discussion on the competition itself and how it was in Ljubljana, just saying thank you for your time. Thank you for taking the time to be here a bit to talk about that experience. And, well, I think the first question I want to ask, and then you can all start giving your opinion, was how was Slovenia?
I guess I'll start off. I think Slovenia was amazing. Like the countryside, what we got to see, the culture. For me being North American by nature, only seeing a lot of Canada and a very little bit of Europe, it was great to experience that.
Anyone
I
else?
think also from a host perspective, they did a good job putting this on in the last minute, short time that they had to put it on. But they did a really good job. The Slovenian Curling Federation, they did a good job of putting this all together. So kudos to them. They welcomed us, and it was good. They were really hospitable. So
yeah, it was a great event. It was well organized, great venue, ice makers, everything. So you couldn't really ask for much more with that.
Well, you guys were the first men's team that we've had in a while. So what was the experience of getting the team together, knowing you were going to be representing Portugal? How was that for you? It's been a long time coming.
I would say for myself, being in the process since 2023 to get my citizenship, it has been a long time coming, and what a thrill it was to go over there and put on the jersey of the Portuguese national colors and represent the country where my family, my parents were born. A great country with great values and whatnot. It was just an honor for myself to be able to go there and finally represent Portugal.
And from what I heard, you were wearing that shirt really close to your chest because it was like 2 sizes too small apparently for everybody.
It was a compression shirt, that's for sure.
That's what I heard, that we had a problem with the sizes of the equipments, and you all had, well, to endure
Flash
that.
up some pictures of that right now.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't think we have any pictures, but for sure.
You definitely got to see more of our physique than you'd ever want to see.
I don't think you can show any pictures on this podcast. You might have to censor them all.
I think if anything, the uniforms, as much as they might have been a little bit small for the guys, I think it became a point of comedy for us. Like it was, it was our stress reliever going, hey, like, let's look at Will in his nice tight shirt. And, we used it as a positive, throughout the whole event, knowing that, hey, this is something we just have to deal with.
We had some good laughs about it for sure. It was like Steve says, it took away some of the stresses that came with the competition and that just joking and laughing around that Will in his tight compression shirt and everybody else, right? So
Well, all I can say is that we'll try to do better next time for sure. I think it was a bit of one of those things that happens and nobody really understands why, but it is what it is. I think we should. We didn't really do introductions, but all that to say that we had two coaches there. So we had Steve and we had Fiona. So Fiona, you've joined, so let's hear a bit about you.
Hello, everybody. Great to see you guys. And I just join absolutely what they've already said. I've been to several world events now with some of the Portuguese teams, be it mixed doubles, men's, women. And I have to say in all sincerity that this is probably the best that I have been to. Really enjoyed being with the guys. There was growth during the week, and it was, and they're so much fun. They really are. And I repeat myself as being extremely lucky to have had this opportunity to have been with them. It was great.
Because originally this was a bit of a mix-up. You were pulled in at the very last minute for this competition. It was not meant to be, or what? Maybe it was.
Who knows? Who knows? You know, the stars decided, or whoever decided that I should be there. Unfortunately, for Tim, it was going to be his first experience as team official. But we're happy to know that he's feeling better, but illness just got the wrong side of him at the wrong time, and unfortunately wasn't able to go. But thanks to all his hard work in organising and on behalf of the Federation as well, everything just fell into place, and I just had to do what had been written down. So I just followed the instructions.
Well, let me call out some names. So we had, again, you will have to help me with the lineups because I know you've changed them over the games. But we had Eric as skip, right, Eric? Chris, you were playing third. And then we had three guys who alternate through the other three positions. So we had Will as a second and lead, Allan as a second and lead. I don't know, you will correct me if I'm wrong. And then we had Ben Silva as a second and lead. So, guys, you played 7 games, if I'm not mistaken, if my mind is not playing tricks on me. I know it was a bit of a roller coaster of emotions. Do you want to highlight any moments there?
Well, I think the resilience actually as a team, like even coming back, almost coming back to, tie Finland, extra ends, forcing that extra end Estonia, even keeping the Romania game close, and we took it, we finally got a break that, it was our game kind of thing. But those are kind of the highlights that, really pulled us together, I think, as a team. And starting off the whole competition, beating Bulgaria was right, what we needed to kind of give us our momentum and confidence as we continued on. So I think for me, that was kind of like, kind of one of the highlights of the event.
Ben, you haven't said much yet. I'm going to pull you in. Sure. You are the one wearing the club's crest on your head. So tell us a bit about not so much the games themselves, but because it was a lot of work getting this team into Slovenia. You were a bit enrolled in that, but I know that all of you played your roles. So tell me about that story, because it sure is a story to tell.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm the sports director here at the club, so any kind of sport that goes through here goes through me. But once we had this opportunity and some of the rules changed with World Curling, that's when this team kind of really started to become a reality. Just doing all the paperwork and, doing all the tedious stuff that, doesn't get seen. It's a lot more work than I think, we kind of understood. But at the end of the day, we got it done. And the club was very helpful. They got a lot of information for us that they're not used to getting. They don't need these sort of things. A lot of stuff the federation was asking for. So it was a team effort. Everyone at the club here was amazing making this happen, and they're really supportive as well. They're very excited to have a team from Oriental out there. So I think it was a good experience all around.
And again, the question then remains, which is, will the club continue to want a team next year? Are you guys considering reapplying? That is you don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously have to talk to the team and. No, I obviously have to talk to the team and figure that out. But I mean, the club's here to support the program, and if any other new teams pop up or whatever happens, we're here to support. So absolutely.
Well, you guys mentioned some tough games against Finland and Estonia. Those are, well, again, going one step back, the format changed. So normally this is the C division, as we used to call it. Now World Curling calls it in a different name. This would be a division where you would not expect to see teams like Finland and Estonia. So it really changed this whole competition. And maybe this one a bit more for Steve. What was the expectations going in and the reality of actually facing these type of opposition?
Yeah, I think we didn't really set a specific goal, not knowing, especially with there being such a break, of a couple of years in between the last time Portugal was represented to this year, and then finding out the teams, knowing that we did have some stronger teams. And I think it's a credit to these 5 guys that put together, a record of 4-3. And I know we're not talking about statistics, but I think something needs to be said about that. Even though we were 3-4, arguably 2 of those close games, like Allan said, extra ends against Finland and Estonia, and even, a couple of the other games, we could have been a 5-2 team. And that's to their credit of putting in the effort. And I said this at the beginning of the event. I was confident in all 5 guys going in that we could perform very well. So, it's just a testament to them going in and not being scared of those stronger teams, and just knowing, hey, we're all equal out there. We're all throwing the same type of rocks. We're all on the same ice. We can go out there and win. And I think it just sets a precedence from now moving forward for this program and curling in Portugal, that it can be something really good and really great moving forward.
I think I'll ask one of the athletes' perspective as well. Chris, you've been in all of the teams that Portugal has ever sent, more or less. How was it that? How do you assess the strengths of this team compared to others in the past? What's this team's main strength in your mind?
I just think our camaraderie together has been a lot better this time than in previous years. A lot of the previous years, the teams were thrown together last minute, and you would go there and have to meet the guys. Some of the times you're meeting the guy for the first time at the competition that you're playing with, and it's hard to have a good competition when you're doing that. But this time, we've been training with these guys for 2-3 years now, and we're all pretty good friends now, and so it made going into the competition a lot easier, and made the competition a lot better, a lot more fun.
That's great to know, and it really shows. You guys, again, we were all joking earlier with the jerseys. I know that you had a great time over there, regardless of the results, and that's, I think, what makes a team in the end. That being said, I know you've met a Mowat. Any words on that? Was not the Mowat, but was a Mowat or a few Mowats. How was it engaging with those people, the curling community, I would say?
I guess I can speak to that, since I'm the one who got his jersey and we got to exchange it. Colin, he's much like his brother, a very genuine, authentic type person, very personal. We got along just great from the first time we met. He and he's a very, very good player as well, although he's on the other side. But just meeting, a personality like a Colin Mao was just, one of the experiences that we had, and we've met a lot of great people along the way, from other countries, and made some friends, even some connections, and now I've got some places to stay when we're in Europe touring the world. So it's definitely fun, and we look forward to additional. We'll definitely be playing them, but we kind of almost consider them as little rivalries now that we've made these friendships, and it'll be fun going forward.
And maybe I'll ask Eric this time. Eric, does this really make you want to go out there again and practice hard and then come back and beat some of these guys?
It definitely does, because seeing the competition and knowing the level that we can play at, we know we have what it takes. It kind of went into it based off of your other question, like what to expect. I wasn't too sure. Kind of felt like, the new kid on the block. It was my first Worlds. Don't know what to really expect. And clearly those teams are all trying to develop curling as much as they can in their country, similar to what we're doing, gain popularity in the sport. But at the same time, they're competitors, so we're competitors too. So we definitely know, we have what it takes. We can get back out there. And it's good competition. Like, I know we can make it. So
hopefully with not as tight uniforms. Well, for sure. But you also, again, not solely focusing on curling, you also had one day off, I guess, and you managed to sightsee a bit. I've never been to Slovenia. What should I look for in Slovenia or Ljubljana? I don't know if you visited the town as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were downtown quite a bit. It was amazing. I already told my wife I wanted to go back and visit and have a bit more time there. And then we also visited Lake Bled, which was beautiful, I thought. So, both were really nice places.
Well, yeah, I should go there one of these days as well. Maybe watching you guys again. Who knows? Would be nice. Guys, I think this is the point of the conversation where you start bringing in topics, other than me trying to pull questions out of you. So help me out here.
What was how did the federation see us in our not only like results and everything else, but as a team? What's your feedback that you got?
Well, I don't think, again, in terms of feedback, the federation was happy to see you guys out there. You were selected, right? So this was, and again, maybe giving some context to whomever is listening. So the process to apply for a team is transparent. So it's on the federation's website. Any team can apply, and there is a selection that is made. If multiple teams apply, there may be what we call a Portuguese Curling Cup that may be enforced, or some other alternative solution. Again, I passed this part of the decision down to Fiona, which is the sporting side of this this discipline. But surely that is the process. As for this specific team and how you guys did, this was for us, for the federation. The results are important, but they are not the most important part. The most important part is that it was the first time we sent a men's team in a while, and we believe that this format or this model enables more teams to come forward, and it might be a system that enables not only quality to come out, but quantity as well to grow. So, and Ben already gave the Oriental's perspective a bit, but our expectation is that the base will grow over time, because there is the opportunity for teams to represent. And again, not going into results because that's it's a bit like the least important thing that you did out there. But surely that's again I can speak personally. I thought you guys did well. I couldn't see any of your games because they were not broadcast, and that's a thing that annoys me a lot.
That's where we need you to step in.
Well, yeah. I think World Curling needs to do a bit better with this division, I would say.
Yeah, you're right.
Actually, I was going to ask you a question on that. Seeing that we didn't get streamed on the specific ice, or didn't have any games shown, maybe a good thing because you didn't see us in our tight compression shirts. But I guess my question, what's that?
We got to see a bit because there was.
Yeah, I guess it was off the next sheet, right? I know my children were saying the same thing too, but. What is the FDI doing as a result of, obviously not having any streamed or televised games to then promote the sport, or what given that there was a lack of that, what are we doing in order to show, hey, we sent the team out there, this is a real thing, the curling, how do we get more people out to see what these guys are doing and then take up on the sport? Well,
one of the things that we do always, we try to cover your path through our social networks. That's one of the things. Again, if anybody, I think it would have been the first point of contact to the majority of people that are interested in curling in Portugal. We have no control over the broadcasting because it's something that the local organizing committee determines with World Curling. So we can advocate for that, and we always do. And ultimately, this was Slovenia's show to run, and they opted to highlight their own teams, which is fair. I think, again, World Curling needs to do a bit better by the rest of the nations competing in this division. Internally, we are doing dissemination. This podcast is dissemination. It's in English, so it will reach primarily our members of the diaspora. Of course, most people in Portugal also speak English, but we are trying to help the clubs grow and help not only the ones nationally, where we hope to attain ice within, again, we always say the next 5 years. It really depends on the Seychelles project. Obviously, if dedicated curling ice was to appear in Portugal, it would advance the program massively. And if anybody's listening that wants to help with that, we are more than welcome to talk with you. But yeah, so those are the primary ways, and then we obviously have the Cup, which is organized by Oriental, or it has been organized by Oriental in this past few years, and which we hope to have again next year. And that is another dissemination opportunity for the community in Canada. I always like to say that we are a program in terms of curling that has to cater to multiple communities. We have the diaspora, which supplies, or let's put it this way, is our main source of competitive curlers for the international competitions. Not that the local Portuguese community, which is significant. We are talking about close to 100 people that play in the Interassociações in Covilhã every winter. And these people are also curlers, and they are also entitled to represent the national team if they apply. Of course, they need to grow, they need to train when the federation is working on providing that training. So in the event that tomorrow a dedicated facility or a facility of some kind would pop up in continental Portugal, it would take us a while until we add athletes that could attain at least a similar level to what we can source from the clubs in the diaspora. So again, this is the pathway. The pathway of development is giving the opportunity of the Portuguese, regardless of where they are, to represent Portugal. And in the meantime, work as we say in Portuguese, o caminho das pedras, the way of the stones, to build some ice locally, and then grow internally as well. Of course, the diaspora will never be abandoned. It exists. These are Portuguese people that exist, and so we will. It would be a great problem to have to select between teams in continental Portugal, in Canada, in Switzerland, in France, and wherever. It would be a nice problem to have. I don't know if that answers your question, Will.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
What I found interesting, João, is this situation seems to be commonplace across many of the teams we played, where a lot of them don't have ice at all. Spoke to one team that had to drive 8 hours to another country just to practice, and then others that had ice, but it wasn't dedicated. So they would only have access on the weekends or once a week or whatever it was. So it seems to be a problem that's happening across Europe. So it was interesting to find that out.
Yeah, we are lucky in a way to have you guys that have access to loads of ice, which is not a common thing in Europe.
Yeah. I think actually the awareness that one learns from going to these competitions and just seeing other realities really kind of puts into perspective where we are, right? It's an eye-opener sometimes, we can maybe say about it, but when you actually get to hear these people, like you said, some traveling 6 hours to go and have like maybe 2 hours on the ice, so it's like crazy. But that is, I think that shows the love for this sport and why we're all passionate about it, and we would do anything to be able to play. And full credit to you guys, and you are ambassadors, absolutely, for Curling Portugal, and people look out for you here. And I know that is something that both Daniel and I have noticed, that curling is actually very popular in Portugal, for all that we only have like this really short rink with where they can throw stones, but there are a lot of people that watch on it's Eurosport for the most part, and so just being able to field a team and being seen, even if it's just photographs, because a lot of photographs were actually posted then on Facebook on the FDIP channel. It's just great to be able to field a team, and we're really proud of that. Really proud.
Yeah, I've personally definitely taken for granted, the access we have, the ice access we have, after hearing everybody's stories, we would complain about, traveling 45 minutes to an hour for us to practice. And meanwhile, people in other countries have to travel so far just to get the ice, or, and then they've been doing this for a lot longer too. And they're still going. And, it sounds like it would be discouraging, but it's not. So it's really inspirational to see all those teams, keep going at it despite all the, how difficult it is.
Yeah.
It definitely shows the level of dedication they have to the sport. Absolutely.
It's always a challenge, but there's always a way.
Exactly. I agree with a lot of the comments the guys have said, and Fiona, but I think one thing really needs to be a big thing that needs to be said as well, for Fiona and for yourself, João and Tim, the support on the administrative side. The team, like we as players and coaches, are there to be the face, but sometimes I believe a lot of people forget the hard work that happens. And even with Ben, with the organization, with the Oriental Club, to make this happen, acknowledgement has to be sent there. If you don't have a supportive team doing that behind the scenes, behind the curtain work, getting this podcast together to expose the team and the successes that we do have, it's really a credit to the team at the FDIP that really pushes for this, because without your support, the 5 players and myself, we wouldn't be able to do this. We wouldn't be able to gallivant around, Europe and, with the Portuguese flag on our back and on our chest to represent a country like that. I think is everybody's aspiration, no matter what country you're from, to put, your flag on your chest and to put it out there saying, I competed for my country, is a big thing. And that's only facilitated by you guys. We help grow that program, that you guys have taken that seed and pushed it forward. And hopefully it does become something really big in continental Portugal.
Oh, I have no doubt you guys will help us get there. I have every confidence in that.
Next year, it's playoffs. That's the goal. I'm setting the bar right now.
Steve, don't do that thing. Don't do that thing to us, because if you start putting goals like that, then we have to go and record it at that. It's recorded, so it's recorded. Really tricky.
Playoffs. One thing I always love to say, and a lot of people, it's very cliche, but shoot for the moon and you end up in the stars. So our moon is playoffs. Our moon is B all the way up to A. Somewhere down in the future, we will get there. And, these guys are going to be the base. These guys are going to be what's pushing it. You guys are going to be the people supporting it. And, eventually it will happen. This is not an if, it's a matter of when. And I'd like to have that mindset going forward. And all of these guys I know have that, because if there's one thing I've taken away from each and every one of them is their willingness to do the work. The enthusiasm to do the work to get there. And as a coach, the way I win is by seeing them be successful. So the minute that the team makes it up into the qualification, the old European B level, and then hopefully ultimately I can be around long enough to see Portugal make it to the A level. And that's the goal for everybody. We want to see every country at that level.
We'll see. And next year, we let's start by getting a team there, and then we'll see. As Fiona says, stone by stone. Nobody's going to address the fact that Ben is the next one to go on the block in October.
Okay, and expectations are the same for you, Ben. We're big doubles champion. You're making it to A.
Well, Ben, it's good. You've seen how hard it can be. Now you're going to do it again in October, and it's a different game.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, and having seen the level, especially of a couple of those teams, I know it's going to be tough. We're not going to go there and steamroll teams by any stretch, but we're going to work our asses off, and we're going to do the best we can, and that's all I can do.
That's the spirit. Well, good luck, and we will surely talk before that.
Absolutely.
But again, thank you. We're wrapping up, but thank you all for taking the time to talk a bit with us, to share your experience. And I'll revert back to Portuguese. E com isto terminamos. Foi o Abaixo de Zero. Não se esqueçam de subscrever ao canal da FDI Portugal e deixar os vossos comentários. Thank you all. Obrigado.
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 Thank you so much.
Thanks.